My darling Leo, I see you. I see what you have been carrying. I see the version of you that has been working, sometimes for decades, with a quiet sense that the recognition has never quite matched the contribution. I see the years you have led from the second chair, while less capable people sat in the first. I see the times you have brought brilliance to organizations that took the brilliance and never gave you the title. I see the dating pool of business partnerships, clients, employers, and collaborators that has been steadily underwhelming for longer than you have wanted to admit. I see the moments you have looked at your career and wondered when, exactly, your moment is supposed to arrive, because the moment that was supposed to make it all click into place has been late by 10 or 15 or 20 years now. I want to start this video by telling you something specific that almost no astrologer will tell you. Pluto entered your 7th house, your business partnership and client house, in February of 2024. Pluto sits there for nearly 20 years, until 2044. This is the most significant transit of your career relationship life. Pluto is restructuring who you work with at the deepest level. Clients, partners, team members, collaborators, employers. The career relationships that cannot evolve will end. The new ones that will define the next 20 years are arriving. Sometimes through the demolition of what was before, sometimes through unexpected channels. And on June 30th, your Jupiter return begins. The most expansive year of your decade for visibility, authority, and career magnetism. 6 weeks from now, on August 12th, a total solar eclipse lands on Jupiter in your sign, possibly the most career-defining day of your decade. June is the month all of this aligns. Stay with me. What I am about to share will reshape how you walk through the most consequential career year of your life so far. I am Madame Aurora, 35 years, studying the stars from my office in Manhattan. And I want to be honest with you, my dear Leo, because honesty about career is the only thing your sign actually wants. Leo has a particular career wound. You have been told since you were young that you have presence, that you have leadership quality, that people look to you naturally. You learned, somewhere along the way, that being visible would be enough. That if you showed up, brought your warmth, gave your work generously, the right opportunities would arrive. And in some ways, this has been true. You have had opportunities, you have had roles, you have had successes that others have not had. But you have also watched, year after year, as less capable people have built bigger careers, monetized their work more aggressively, claimed authority more publicly, and ended up in positions you arguably deserved. The Pluto transit in your 7th house over 20 years is asking you to look at why, to examine the patterns in who you have partnered with, who you have worked for, who you have served, who you have built with. The next 20 years are not going to let you continue partnering with people who diminish you. The Jupiter return year is the universe's gift of magnetism and visibility with which to make these structural changes. June is the beginning. Before I take you any further, I want to acknowledge something. Leo is the most misunderstood sign when it comes to professional ambition. The world sees you as confident, charismatic, the natural performer. The world rarely sees how much of your career has been spent making other people comfortable with their own insecurities about your visibility. Many Leos have learned by their 40s or 50s to dim themselves at work, to wait their turn, to not threaten the people above them, to be the good team player even when the team was using them, to accept titles and compensation below what their contribution warranted because asking for more felt like vanity. The cost of these patterns is that the careers Leos have built often look successful from outside, while the inside experience has been one of chronic under-recognition. The Pluto transit in your 7th house and the Jupiter return year are the universe's intervention. The next 20 years will not let you continue dimming yourself. The next 13 months will give you the visibility and magnetism to step into the version of your career you have been postponing. But first, let me tell you about Patricia. Patricia is a Leo client of mine from Chicago, born in early August, who came to me in spring of 2014, just before her last Jupiter return. Patricia was 46 then. She had been a senior consultant at a large strategy firm for 14 years. She was brilliant at what she did. Her work directly produced enormous revenue and reputation for her firm. She had been a partner candidate for 6 years and kept being told it was almost time. She had been on the verge of major promotions for so long that the verge had become her career identity. She came to me one afternoon and said, "Aurora, I am about to turn 47 and I feel like I have been positioned to be a leader for a decade without ever actually being one. Mercury is retrograde. My firm just told me partnership is again being delayed, and I am wondering if I should just accept that this is the level I am meant for. What am I doing wrong?" I looked at her chart and I said, "Patricia, my darling, listen to me very carefully. Jupiter is about to enter your sign for the first time in 12 years on July 16th. Your Jupiter return year is your year of visibility and authority. The year you become the leader you have been positioned to be. But your firm has spent 14 years positioning you as the brilliant senior consultant who supports leaders. They will not promote you to leadership during your Jupiter return. They will continue to position you. What your Jupiter return is asking you to do is leave the firm and become the leader elsewhere. Use the magnetism of the year to attract a role where you are positioned as the leader from the start, not where you have to wait to be granted leadership by people who have always benefited from positioning you below them." She listened. She did not announce anything immediately. During the Mercury retrograde of summer 2014, she sat with the realization. By late autumn, she had begun quiet conversations in her network. By spring of 2015, she had 3 offers from boutique strategy firms, each one offering her a leadership role with equity and authority that her existing firm had been withholding. She accepted the strongest offer. By the time her Jupiter return year ended in August of 2015, she had launched in her new role as managing partner. By 2017, she had been featured in industry publications as a leading voice in her field. By 2020, she had co-founded her own firm, where she still works today as senior partner. She told me last summer that the lesson of her Jupiter return was that visibility magnetism cannot be activated in environments where you have been structurally positioned as supporting cast. The right work was to use the magnetism to find or build the right stage. The same kind of work is being asked of you now, my dear Leo. June is the most important month for setting the structural intention. Now, before I take you any further, my darling, I want to pause for just a moment. If what I am sharing is landing for you, if Patricia's story made you recognize something in yourself, even for a second, tap that little like button just below this video. It is a tiny gesture, but it tells YouTube to bring this kind of guidance to more Leo souls who have been quietly aware that their careers are not delivering the recognition their contributions deserve. So many Leos are at this exact moment, talented, accomplished, and chronically underpositioned, and looking for guidance that does not lecture them. Your like helps them find this video. And if you are not yet subscribed, this is the moment. June is the bridge to August 12th, and that eclipse on Jupiter in your sign will be one of the most career-defining days of your decade. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss the July career video or the August eclipse career forecast. Now let me show you what is actually happening in your chart this June, specifically for your career. Here is what each major June transit means for your career, my darling. The Sagittarius full moon on June 1st in your 5th house.
Leo's natural.
Creative and self-expression house is the first significant career signal of the month. The 5th house, for Leo specifically, governs creative projects, personal brand projects, performance-based work, and any career endeavor that involves bringing your distinctive voice into the public. For Leos whose careers involve creative work, writing, speaking, performing, content creation, design, leadership where personality matters, the 5th house full moon often brings a personal brand, project to a peak, a creative work completes, a performance reaches its conclusion, a personal brand initiative crystallizes. For more traditionally employed Leos, the 5th house full moons may surface questions about how much of your authentic self is allowed in your current role. Pay attention to what arises about creative expression and personal voice in the first week. Things to do. Finish the creative project that has been hovering. Submit the proposal that involves your distinctive perspective. Things not to do. Do not make a major creative career commitment on June 1st or 2nd. The square to Saturn and Neptune in your 9th house affects decisions about teaching, publishing, foreign clients, or international expansion under this aspect. Now let me get specific about the most important career day of the first half of your month. June 9th. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction at 25 degrees of Cancer, in your 12th house of behind-the-scenes work, preparation, intuition, and the projects that develop in private before they become public. Venus-Jupiter in your 12th house on June 9th is one of the most powerful single days of your year for behind-the-scenes career work. What does this look like for you specifically, my darling? For Leos preparing for a major launch, a book, a course, a business, a creative project, a public role, June 9th often brings a breakthrough in the preparation phase. A piece of behind-the-scenes work clicks into place. A collaborator becomes available who can support the work being done in private. An insight arrives about positioning that changes the trajectory of what you are building. For Leos in the middle of long-form projects that have not yet gone public, June 9th is the day to advance the work meaningfully. For Leos who have been considering a behind-the-scenes career move, leaving a role quietly to prepare for the next chapter, doing inner work or training before launching publicly, working on a confidential project. June 9th is one of the best days of the year for this kind of preparation. The universe is dressing your behind-the-scenes career work in gold for one afternoon. Use it. But here is what I have to tell you, because I would not be an honest astrologer if I did not. June 9th is also the last full bloom of Jupiter in your 12th house. The transit has been doing pre-Jupiter return preparation work for the past year. Some of you have been working on long-form projects you have not yet revealed. Some have been in therapy, training, or development that has prepared you for the year ahead. Some have been doing inner work that has been invisible to colleagues but transformative internally. The window closes on June 29th. So whatever 12th house career preparation has been pending, finalize it, integrate it, complete it before the end of the month. After June 29th, the focus shifts dramatically from behind-the-scenes preparation to visible, public-facing career action. I want to slow down here because I need to explain what shifts when Jupiter moves from your 12th house into your first house for career. The 12th house Jupiter has been about quiet preparation, behind-the-scenes development, intuitive readiness, and projects being built in private. The first house Jupiter, your Jupiter return, is the opposite. It is about visibility, personal brand, public-facing authority, and the version of you that the world sees walking into rooms. Jupiter, in your first house for 13 months, is the most career magnetic transit a Leo can receive. Your visibility increases dramatically. Opportunities arrive. Recognition that was overdue often crystallizes. The dating pool of clients, employers, partners, and collaborators expands and improves. For employed Leos, the Jupiter return year often brings promotion, role expansion, headhunter calls, lateral moves to better organizations, or the recognition that has been overdue for years. For self-employed Leos, the Jupiter return year often brings client growth, rate increases, media attention, speaking opportunities, partnerships with bigger names, and the visibility that turns a successful practice into a notable one. For Leos in creative fields, the Jupiter return year often brings publishing deals, gallery shows, performance opportunities, audience growth, and the platform that distinguishes you from your peers. For Leos in transition, between roles, between fields, between chapters, the Jupiter return year often brings the clarity about direction and the magnetism to launch the next thing. Wait, before I continue, I need to interrupt myself, because there is something significant happening just a few days after June 9th that affects your career in ways most astrologers will not mention. On June 14th, at 10:54 in the evening Eastern Time, a new moon perfects at 24 degrees of Gemini. In your 11th house of networks, professional communities, online platforms, and income from career through community channels. New moons in your 11th house begin network career chapters. But this one, combined with Uranus, which entered Gemini in your 11th house only 7 weeks earlier, has career implications most astrologers will overlook. Uranus in your 11th house for 7 years is restructuring your professional network. The colleagues you have spent decades with are shifting. New peers are appearing, often through online platforms, professional communities, conferences, mastermind groups, or industries that did not exist 5 years ago. The way income flows to you through your network is being rewritten. Many Leos in the next 7 years will earn through community-based platforms, online courses, collaborative ventures, professional communities, or AI-related work that did not exist when your career began. The new moon on June 14th is the first major lunar event, activating this new Uranus transit. So this new moon, my darling, is not just any new moon. It is the moment the new professional network chapter under Uranus begins to take real shape. For some of you, June 14th brings the beginning of a meaningful new professional community involvement. A mastermind, an industry group, an online community that will become significant over the year ahead. For some, it brings a sudden offer through your network, a collaboration, a referral that turns into business, an introduction that changes your trajectory. For some, it brings the decision to leave an industry community that no longer fits the version of you that is emerging. And there is one more thing about the June 14th new moon. It is squared by Saturn and Neptune in your 9th house, which means the new professional network chapter is connected to the international, educational, and publishing work the Saturn-Neptune transit is demanding all year. Many Leos will find that the new network connections involve teaching, writing, publishing, foreign clients, or work that crosses borders. The career expansion of the next several years is not local. It involves wider reach. 3 days after the new moon, on June 17th, Mars leaves Taurus and enters Gemini. Mars in your 11th house for the next 8 weeks, until August 11th, intensifies network and community-based career action. For your career, this means active outreach, momentum on collaborations, follow-ups on opportunities, visibility in your professional community. Use the Mars transit to push on the network-based career moves. Send the emails, attend the events, schedule the calls, reach out to the contacts who matter most. Mars in the 11th house through August 11th is the action window for community-based career advancement. Pause for just one moment, my darling. I know this is a lot. I have been putting hours into this video, researching not just the transits but the specific career implications of the Pluto in 7th house generational business partnership transformation, the Jupiter return year about to begin, the Saturn-Neptune international career restructuring, the Uranus network revolution, and the Chiron entry to your 10th house, because you deserve real guidance, not generic career horoscopes. If this is bringing you value, would you do me 3 small things? Like this video. It tells YouTube this matters. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you have not yet. July's career video will cover the Mercury retrograde period day by day for your career and the first month of Jupiter in your sign for visibility activation, and August's will cover the eclipse on Jupiter career forecast, possibly the most career-defining day of your decade. You absolutely cannot miss the career preparation series, and write to me in the comments. Even one sentence. Other Leos in this comment section are reading and recognizing themselves. We are becoming a community now. Thousands of Leos, all walking through the same career visibility year together. Come be part of it. Now let me continue. Now comes one of the most important career transits of your decade for the long term, my darling. June 19th. Chiron, the wounded healer, enters Taurus and your 10th house of career, public reputation, authority, and the way the world sees and pays you for your work. For 7 years, until April of 2033, Chiron will sit in your 10th house healing wounds about career authority. This is one of the most significant career transits a Leo can experience. I want to slow down here, because the 10th house Chiron is one of the most career-relevant transits a Leo will ever encounter. Many Leos carry deep wounds about career authority. Some were told, early in your careers, that you were lucky to be employed at all, and that early conditioning has shaped your relationship with bosses, clients, and authority figures for decades. Some have a pattern of being passed over for promotions you deserved, watching less capable colleagues advance ahead of you. Some have been exploited by bosses or business partners early in your careers and developed defensive patterns about how to handle authority and visibility. Some have carried, since childhood, the wound of a parent who did not see your potential, or who positioned you as supporting their dreams rather than yours. Some have been in long-term professional relationships, where the recognition for your work has been claimed by someone above you. Some have been in industries that have not valued people like you, and you have absorbed the message that your kind of contribution is secondary to the kind they value. Chiron in your 10th house for 7 years slowly will surface these patterns and heal them. Not in a month, over years. but June 19th is the day this work begins. Pay attention to what arises about career authority in the second half of June. You may find old career wounds surfacing in unexpected moments. A memory of being passed over 12 years ago, a sudden awareness of a boss who used you and never gave you credit, a realization about a business partner who has been holding you back. You may notice resistance to opportunities you would normally accept. Speaking opportunities, leadership roles, public visibility, that traces back to old wounds about being seen as an authority. The Chiron transit is illuminating the patterns. Begin the slow work of healing them. Then, on June 29th, two enormous things happen on the same day. Mercury stations retrograde at 26 degrees of Cancer, in your 12th house, and Jupiter leaves Cancer and walks into Leo, your sign, beginning your Jupiter return. Two major transit events on the same day, my darling. June 29th is the career portal of your year. I want to slow down here, my darling, because the Mercury retrograde context is critical. Mercury stations retrograde in your 12th house, the same house Jupiter is leaving. So, as Jupiter walks out of your behind-the-scenes preparation house and into your visible personal brand house, Mercury asks you to look back at the 12th house once more. Old projects you have not finished may demand final attention. Old collaborators from behind-the-scenes work may resurface. Old career material you have been processing privately may surface for one more round of integration before the public phase begins. Mercury retrograde in your 12th house from June 29th through July 23rd is the universe's way of making sure the preparation phase is properly complete before the public launch year begins. Use the Mercury retrograde for completion of preparation work, not for launching publicly. Do not announce a new role, launch a major public initiative, begin a public-facing project, sign a major career contract, or make significant career announcements on June 29th, June 30th, or in the first 3 weeks of July. The Leos who launch publicly during Mercury retrograde at the start of their Jupiter return almost always find the launches underperform, because the universe is asking for one more cycle of preparation before the visibility begins. Wait until July 24th or later for major public career moves. The patience will be rewarded. Jupiter in your first house, starting June 29th, opens the year of visibility. But the first week of Jupiter in your sign, late June and early July, is integration time. You are absorbing the new energy. The world is beginning to respond to you differently, but you are calibrating. The actual launch energy intensifies after July 23rd when Mercury stations direct, and crescendos toward the August 12th eclipse, which will be the most career-defining day of your decade. The Capricorn full moon on June 30th at 14 degrees in your 6th house of daily work, health, and routine brings work-related matters to a peak. A daily job situation reaches clarity. A coworker or employee dynamic resolves. A workload and wellness equation comes into focus. For Leos in traditional employment, the Capricorn full moon often brings practical job matters to a turning point. For self-employed Leos, it often brings clarity about the daily structure of your work. What is working? What is consuming you? What needs to change? The 6th house full moon, combined with the Mercury retrograde and Jupiter ingress just hours before, makes the final week of June one of the most concentrated career weeks of your year. Sleep extra. Honor what surfaces, but do not make permanent decisions. I want to stop for a moment, my darling, because I know I have been giving you a lot. Let me make it simple. 3 career priorities for June. First, complete the behind-the-scenes preparation Jupiter has been doing in your 12th house. Whatever long-form project, private initiative, or preparation work has been pending, finalize it before June 29th. The next year is for public launch, not for more preparation. Second, set the intention for your Jupiter return year deliberately. What career chapter do you want the next 13 months to deliver? Be specific. Write it down. Walk into the year holding the intention. Third, look at the structural relationships in your career honestly. Who are the partners, clients, employers, collaborators who have been diminishing you? The Pluto transit in your 7th house is asking you to begin restructuring these. Not all at once, but begin. Things to do: finalize the project, write the intention, identify the one career relationship that needs to change. Things not to do: do not announce a new role, launch a public initiative, sign a major career contract, or make significant career announcements on June 29th, June 30th, or in the first 3 weeks of July. Wait until late July. Let me give you the week-by-week career breakdown briefly. First week, June 1st through 7th. The Sagittarius full moon brings a creative peak. Finish the creative work. Mars is in Taurus through the 17th, sitting in your 10th house. Career momentum on traditional career pressure and authority dynamics. Be visible at work without making major announcements yet. Second week, June 8th through 14th. June 9th is the behind-the-scenes career peak. Last full bloom of Jupiter in your 12th house. The new moon on the 14th begins your professional network chapter under Uranus. Engage your network meaningfully. Third week, June 15th through 21st. Mars enters your 11th house on the 17th, intensifying network-based career energy. Chiron enters your 10th house on the 19th. Career authority wounds begin to surface for long healing. Pay attention to what your relationship with authority figures reveals. Fourth week, June 22nd through 30th. The portal week, June 29th. Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, Jupiter return begins. June 30th, full moon in your 6th house. Practical work matters resolve. What to do? By the end of June, have your behind-the-scenes work finalized and your Jupiter return intention set. What not to do? Do not launch publicly, announce new roles, formalize new partnerships, or sign major career contracts on June 29th or 30th. Wait until late July. But before I move to specific career forecasts, I need to interrupt myself one more time and tell you something specific about the shadow side of the Jupiter return combined with the Pluto in 7th house transit. Because I would not be honest with you if I did not name it. Let me tell you about Edward. Edward was a Leo client of mine from San Francisco, born in late July. He came to see me in summer of 2015, near the end of his previous Jupiter return. Edward had been a senior product manager at a major tech company. The Jupiter return year had begun beautifully. He had been promoted to director within 2 months of Jupiter entering his sign. He had been quoted in industry publications. He had been invited to keynote at conferences. His visibility had increased dramatically. But Edward made a Leo mistake, and I have seen this pattern in many of you. He confused the visibility of the Jupiter return year with permission to disregard the relationships that had built his career. He stopped maintaining the network that had nurtured him. He took credit publicly for work that had been collaborative. He gave less attention to the team that had supported him. By the end of the Jupiter return year in summer of 2015, he had achieved the title he had wanted. But he had also made enemies of 3 people who had been crucial allies. Over the next 18 months, those 3 people moved into positions of influence in his industry and quietly blocked Edward from advancement. By 2017, he had left the company involuntarily and was struggling to find his next role at the level he had once held. He came back to see me in 2018 and said, "Aurora, I confused Jupiter's visibility for permission to forget my own humility. I got the recognition I had wanted, and I used it badly. The cost to my network, my reputation, my own integrity was enormous." I told him, "Edward, the Jupiter return amplifies what is true in you. The visibility magnifies generosity into wider generosity, or it magnifies arrogance into more visible arrogance. The Leos who use the Jupiter return well give more credit to others, not less. They become more visibly generous, not less. They mention their team in interviews. They credit collaborators publicly. They give referrals to peers who have helped them." The Pluto transit in the 7th house is specifically asking you to be more visibly generous in your professional partnerships, not to claim everything for yourself in the visibility year. My dear Leo, please hear this. Over the next 13 months, your visibility will increase. The opportunities you have waited for will arrive. The recognition will come. The discipline of the year is to use the visibility to lift others, not to leave them behind. The Leos who credit their teams, their collaborators, their mentors, their networks during their Jupiter return year emerge with both the recognition and the relationships that allow the recognition to compound over decades. The Leos who let the visibility flatten their humility damage relationships they will need in the years after the Jupiter return ends. Stay generous, my darling, especially as the visibility increases. Let me walk you through each career area now, briefly. Employed Leos, the dominant story of the Jupiter return year. Promotion, role expansion, or strategic exit. The August 12th eclipse will be the major career turning point. If your current company has been positioning you below your level for years, the Jupiter return is the year to either negotiate forcefully or leave for a better opportunity. The Pluto transit in your 7th house affects your relationship with your manager and the leadership team. These dynamics are restructuring. Self-employed Leos. The Jupiter return year often brings client growth, rate increases, and visibility expansion. The August 12th eclipse may bring a major client, contract, or opportunity. The Pluto transit in your 7th house affects your client relationships. Some clients will fall away, others will arrive, and the structure of your client base will shift over the next 20 years. Leos in creative fields. The 5th house full moon on June 1st activates personal creative projects. The Jupiter return year is often a breakthrough creative year. Publishing deals, gallery shows, audience growth, recognition that has been overdue. The August 12th eclipse may bring a defining creative moment. Leos in transition. Between roles, between fields, between chapters. The Jupiter return year provides clarity and magnetism. Use the Mercury retrograde in late June and through July 23rd to integrate, and the period after July 23rd to launch. The August 12th eclipse will bring the defining direction. Leos with business partnerships. The Pluto transit is rebuilding these. Some partnerships will end, others will deepen. The next 20 years will demand honesty in business partnership, in a way Leo has not always practiced. Leos in leadership or management roles. The Chiron entry into your 10th house on June 19th begins 7 years of healing your relationship with authority. Both how you exercise it and how you experience being under it. Many Leos in leadership positions will reconsider how they lead during this transit. Leos considering teaching, writing, publishing, or online courses. The Saturn-Neptune in your 9th house is the long-term restructuring of this dimension. The Jupiter return year is good for foundation work in this direction. The Chiron in your 10th house from June supports the expert positioning work. Leos with international clients, foreign work, or cross-cultural career. The Saturn-Neptune in your 9th house affects this all year. Major decisions about international expansion are best made carefully, with patience for the long-term timeline Saturn-Neptune demands. Leos in tech, gig economy, or AI-related fields. The Uranus in your 11th house since April affects this directly. The next 7 years bring rapid changes in how income flows through tech-mediated platforms. Stay adaptive. Now, my darling, take out your journal and your favorite pen. I want to give you a ritual you can do on June 29th, the night your Jupiter return begins. This is your career magnetism and intention ritual. Jupiter enters Leo at 10:51 in the evening Pacific Time on June 29th, 1:51 in the morning Eastern Time on June 30th, 6:51 in the morning London Time on June 30th, and 7:51 in the morning Central European Time on June 30th. Do the ritual at the moment Jupiter crosses into Leo, or as soon as you can afterward. Find a space that feels like your professional self. Your office is good. Your desk is good. Where you actually do your work is best. Make it beautiful. Leo rituals deserve a stage. Light a single gold candle and a single deep red candle. Gold for Jupiter and Leo, the planets of expansion and visibility. Red for Mars and fire, the energy of action. Place a piece of citrine, pyrite, or carnelian beside them. Your career stones. Burn frankincense, cinnamon, or bay laurel. The sense of authority and recognition. If you do not have these, any rich candle and any warm scent will work. Stand. Leos do their best ritual work standing. It is the posture of authority. Look at yourself in the mirror if you can. Take 7 slow breaths. Then say, out loud, 3 times, I welcome the year of visibility. I welcome the authority I have earned. I welcome the recognition that has been overdue. 3 times, slowly. Look yourself in the eyes when you say it. Sit at your desk. Open your journal. Write the date. Then write the answers to these 5 questions, slowly, with the honesty Leo can manage when no one is watching. Question 1. What version of myself have I been performing professionally? The team player, the supportive one, the quietly capable one, that has prevented me from being seen as the leader I actually am? Question 2. Which career relationships, partners, clients, employers, collaborators have been diminishing me? And which one am I willing to begin restructuring during the Jupiter return year? Question 3. What major career project or initiative do I want Jupiter to amplify over the next 13 months? Be specific. A book, a platform, a new role, a business launch, a creative project, a speaking platform. One major direction. Question 4. What about my ego, my reactivity, my generosity trap patterns, my tendency to take everything on or to claim everything for myself? Am I willing to let the Pluto transit dismantle so that my career can expand from a more honest place over the next 20 years? Question 5. When Jupiter leaves my sign in July of 2027, what does my career look like? What role do I have? What recognition have I received? What life have I built? Sit with each answer. Be specific, be brave. Then place both hands on your heart and say 3 times slowly, I am the leader. I am the authority. I am ready to be seen for who I have already become. 3 times. Let both candles burn down while you write. The Jupiter return career year has officially begun. Let me speak briefly about rising signs and career implications. If your rising is also Leo, Jupiter sits on your ascendant. The most personally visible Jupiter return possible. The Chiron entry to your 10th house affects your career authority directly. The August 12th eclipse will be on your ascendant. Career magnetism peak. If your rising is Virgo, Jupiter is in your 11th house, then moves to your 12th. Network career to pre-Jupiter return. If your rising is Libra, Jupiter is in your 10th house, then moves to your 11th. Career elevation to community income. If your rising is Scorpio, Jupiter is in your 9th house, then moves to your 10th. International career to direct career elevation. If your rising is Sagittarius, Jupiter is in your 8th house, then moves to your 9th. Joint money to your sign. If your rising is Capricorn, Jupiter is in your 7th house, then moves to your 8th. Partnership to joint money. If your rising is Aquarius, Jupiter is in your 6th house, then moves to your 7th. Daily work to partnership. If your rising is Pisces, Saturn-Neptune left your sign. Career recovery, new direction. If your rising is Aries, Saturn-Neptune in your sign affects how you show up professionally. Long-term professional identity reconstruction. If your rising is Taurus, Chiron enters your sign. Physical personal worth healing affecting career. If your rising is Gemini, Uranus in your sign. Personal brand revolution affecting career. If your rising is Cancer, Jupiter has just left your sign. Post-Jupiter return career integration. If your moon is in Leo, Jupiter sits on your moon. Emotional and professional expansion combined. If your moon is in Cancer, the Venus-Jupiter conjunction on June 9th lands on your moon. If your moon is in Sagittarius, the full moon on June 1st lands on your moon. If your moon is in Capricorn, the full moon on June 30th lands on your moon. Emotional work crystallization. If your moon is in Aquarius, the Pluto transit affects your emotional partnerships and business relationships. Compatibility for career support. The 3 signs most aligned with your career support this month are Sagittarius, Aries, and Aquarius. Sagittarius because the fellow fire sign trines yours, and the full moon on June 1st in Sagittarius. Sagittarius mentors, sponsors, and senior peers may bring expansion-oriented support this month. Aries because the fire trine offers fellow leader, companionship, and Saturn-Neptune in Aries in your 9th house. Aries colleagues in publishing, teaching, international work may bring opportunities. Aquarius because the air sign opposite, the new business partners, clients, and collaborators arriving through the Pluto transit are often Aquarian or Aquarius flavored, bringing innovation and depth. Be careful with Taurus, where Chiron now lives in your 10th house. Taurus authority figures or career-related relationships may surface old wounds. Be patient with Scorpio, where Pluto's square activates family and home tensions that can interfere with career energy. And be diplomatic with Capricorn, your career house sign, where the full moon on June 30th surfaces daily work tensions. Capricorn coworkers or daily life partners may bring practical career pressures. The sign that will surprise you, my dear Leo, Gemini. As Uranus is now in Gemini in your 11th house, a Gemini will appear in your professional network as a surprising new collaborator, connector, or opportunity bringer, possibly through online platforms, possibly through a community you have not been deeply involved with before, possibly someone who was peripheral until they were suddenly central. Trust the Gemini. My dear Leo, before I let you go, 3 small things I want to say. 1. If any part of this video has brought you clarity about your career, even one date, even one sentence, tap that like button. It is the simplest way to tell YouTube to bring this work to more Leo souls who have been quietly aware that their careers are not delivering the recognition their contributions deserve. Your like helps them find this video. 2. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Next month's career video will cover the Mercury retrograde day by day for your career and the first month of Jupiter in your sign for visibility, activation. And August will cover the eclipse on Jupiter career forecast, possibly the most career-defining day of your decade. You absolutely cannot miss the career preparation series. 3. Write to me in the comments. My question for you tonight is this. What major career project, role, platform, or initiative do you want Jupiter to amplify over the next 13 months? Be specific. Just one sentence. Other Leos in this comment section are reading these words and recognizing themselves. We are building a community here, and you are part of it. I read every single comment, truly. And one more small thing. If you know another Leo who has been quietly underpositioned in her career for years, share this video with her. You may not realize how much one share matters. It is how this work finds the Leo who need it. Thank you, my darling. This community is becoming something I never expected, and you are part of it. June 1st, June 9th, June 14th, June 19th, June 29th. Write the dates down. The stars are with you. The Sagittarius full moon in your creative house opens the month. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your behind-the-scenes house gives you the last great preparation peak before the public year. The Uranus in your network house is opening unexpected career opportunities through community for 7 years. The Pluto in your partnership house continues the deep restructuring of your business relationships. The Chiron entering your career house begins 7 years of healing your relationship with authority. Jupiter returns to your sign on June 29th for 13 months of visibility and magnetism. And the August 12th eclipse on Jupiter in your sign is 6 weeks away. Possibly the most career-defining day of your decade. The structural pieces are aligning at every level. Walk into the year ahead with the magnetism Jupiter is offering, with the depth Pluto is demanding, and with the generosity that makes the visibility sustainable. The Leos who use the Jupiter return well credit others, build relationships that last beyond the visibility year, and emerge with both the recognition and the durability that allow recognition to compound. The Leos who get drunk on the visibility damage relationships they will need afterward. You have earned the sustainable version. Walk toward it. I am Madame Aurora from Manhattan, and I love you, my dear Leo. I'll see you in July for the Mercury retrograde career forecast.